Thank you for joining us today on Georgia Southern Underground. I'm your host, and today's guest is Dr. Marion Pugh. Dr. Pugh is the owner and the consultant of Manhood Mindset program here at Georgia Southern. On today's segment, he will inform us on the Manhood Mindset program and his own take on the importance of diversity. We thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Our first question is that can you give us some information on your educational background and how you eventually got here to Georgia Southern?
Well, my educational background, I'll just start at the very, very beginning. I attended Sister Clara Muhammad School in East Atlanta, Georgia. I then went to Green Forest Christian Academy in Decatur, Georgia. I ended up at Chapel Hill Junior High in Decatur, and I graduated from Cedar Grove High School in Ellenwood, Georgia. I came here to Georgia Southern in '99, graduated in 2006 with my Bachelor of Science for Broadcast Production. I went to grad school for school counseling, graduated in 2008. I worked at Georgia Southern Student Affairs for around 7 years. And then I started my doctorate program in 2013 at Georgia Southern, so I'm a triple eagle, if that's the thing. But I graduated from the Curriculum Studies program in the College of Education 2019, and I'm currently an instructor in the Curriculum Foundation and Reading Department at Georgia Southern.
Awesome. So you've been involved with Georgia Southern for quite a while.
I think I am, when someone says true blue, they need my baby picture.
Yeah. You're like the poster child for that.
That's pretty much it. At least that's what my student loans say.
My next question to you is, what exactly made you want to be a consultant, and could you give some of the organizations you've worked with?
Definitely. The reason why I wanted to be a consultant is because there are a lot of different aspects of education and society. And one thing that I've noticed is that when people are consulting, they have a certain level of freedom that they can actually maneuver and use to their advantage. And they can also say things and talk about things that the people who are hired by their institution literally cannot say. So I know a lot of people want to provide assistance, but depending on their structure, some of them are literally muted, or some of them are extremely fearful of saying the wrong thing, or not being the right fit, or not falling within the culture of their institution. So if they say the wrong thing, they could be, putting at risk their ability to feed their families. So when I saw consultants doing that work, I'm like, hey, I think that's the way to go, right? But I will say that one of the main things that's rewarding is that you can see things that from the outside looking in, and you can add perspective. If you're in the middle of a war, you really don't know everything that's going on. You're just trying to survive. As a consultant, you're on the outside looking in, and you can give that point of view that really opens up the eyes and minds of everybody who's just in the middle of the battle all the time. So I consult parents, teachers, children, administrators, community leaders, organizations, all of that. Anybody with a heartbeat, I can consult them. So.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And just you asked about the organizations that I work with, just to name a few: St. Norbert College, Savannah State University TRIO Program, the Cal Virtual Career Academy, American Educational Research Association, the Qualitative Research Committee here at Georgia Southern, the Georgia Educational Research Association, of course, Georgia Southern University, Georgia Southwestern State University. I just visited them in January. Putnam County School District, Marietta High School, and I've been doing consulting here in Bullitt County School District for quite a while.
Which is awesome. So a lot.
a lot of people.
You teach diversity and educational context here at Georgia Southern.
Yes.
I was in the class.
Great student, my best student. How about that?
Can you give us your own opinion on how important diversity is to you?
I think the importance of diversity, first, I think everyone must know the intent behind the word and the definition. You were in my class all the time. We talked about intent and making sure we know exactly how the word is defined and why that word is used in this context, right? So when people are thinking about diversity, one thing I found out that is extremely important is find out what diversity is and what diversity is not, and how the word has been used not only as a tool for upliftment, but it can be used a tool of detriment if you don't understand how it works. Some people can use it, if you don't know what it is, they can use it as another weapon to even cause more oppression if you're not careful. So let me give you an example. I could say I'm diverse, just making sure different faces, look different. The picture looks different, right? So I have this one statement that I say to my students all the time. Diversity is not the brochure, it's the board of directors. It's not the brochure, it's the board of directors. It's not how things look, it's about how things operate and who has the power. Diversity is not about the picture, it's about the power. So if you don't have power and you just only have a picture and making sure that people, it feels like and it looks like everyone is included, I would say the higher you go, if the faces start looking the same, you do not have diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we'd be in your class, we'd be saying something, and then you would stop us and be like, okay, that term that you just used, what do you mean by that?
Right, and I put like this, I think it's so many, diversity is so broad, right? No one, and I've been working in diversity for over 15 years now, and the more I work in diversity, the more I realize I have no idea exactly how many ways it is used, right?
Exactly,
so the longer you're in diversity, your experience may go up, but your understanding may either stay there or even go down based off where you're at and how it is used. So I think it's important with any institution, any school, any organization, if they use that word, it better have a definition tied to it somewhere, and that definition has to be measurable, because if it's emotional, it's going to be used to manipulate.
Exactly. So we're actually going to take a quick PSA break, and then when we come back, we will talk about manhood mindset.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back to Georgia Southern Underground. I'm your host, Allie Cox, and we are here with Dr. Marion Pugh. What caused you to start Manhood Mindset program here at Georgia Southern? Are there any other members that are part of your program?
Well, Manhood Mindset, it started, I would say, around 2016, 2017. It started as a radio show, believe it or not. And that radio show was geared towards literally having a safe space for young people to call in and talk about their issues, because I have a school counseling background, and I found out that a lot of the mindsets of students were wrapped around what major they had and what they were going to be when they grow up or when they get into the educational world. Well, I found out there's a huge difference between people's purpose and their profession. Some people who have no idea why they were born, they've been told that they have to work a certain job in order to be accepted in society.
Yeah.
So one thing I really wanted to hone in on is not only co-host it with several students, but make sure that students hear the conversations, hear what's in the mindsets of other people, because a lot of us, and it's not just students, you have adults who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s who have dedicated their entire life to a profession and still have no idea why they're here. So Manhood Mindset really started as a complement to a program, a national initiative called Brother You're on My Mind through Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I was the advisor for the chapter here. So that was our contribution to help that initiative, because there were so many adult males who were struggling mentally in society when it comes down to their image, to their social acceptance, their position in their own families, their position in corporate America, their position in religion. It was just about a lot of things that were confusing to a lot of people. And one thing that I found out is that the best thing you can do, for me at least, is to start as young as possible, right? Because by the time you get into the adult age, you're such in survival mode that new ideas become foreign, and you naturally put up a blocking mechanism to them. So now I start with third graders, and we talk about how they think about certain things. What do they think about their humanity? What do they think about adulthood? What do they think about their manhood? And manhood mindset is the mindset. It's not just for young men and boys. I have young ladies in my program all day, because a lot of them, even if they have a father in the home, the father may not know how to communicate, right?
Yeah.
And so, and in this world, I just had to really acknowledge that the thoughts of men and the opinions of men can be misconstrued very quickly depending on who's listening. And a lot of men feel like they cannot express themselves, right? And a lot of men are told, you need to express yourselves more, but then as soon as they do it, it's weaponized against them and they're ostracized again. So I wanted to have an initiative that not only complemented a nationwide initiative, but something that I've seen since I was a child. You know, my father was not a person of many words, and Manhood Mindset was also an opportunity for me to get to know him. He passed away in 2013, but Manhood Mindset helped me understand my father more when I became an adult, because now as an adult, I understand why he was so quiet. I understand why he was thinking so much, because literally in our society, men have to figure out not only survival, but acceptance and how to earn a living. And some people think that men have it easy. Some men do, and I'm not gonna lie to you, but there's some men out here who are really, really struggling to see how they're gonna make it to the next day. And Manhood Mindset was just an attempt at, you know, balancing the imbalance, right? One of the main things, and I'll close this statement with this, I've been involved in the education system since I was a kid. I was a peer mediator, I was a teacher cadet, I was engulfed in education. And one thing that we have to be honest about is that there are not a lot of men in education.
Yeah.
It is a woman-dominated field, and women are doing a great job. A lot of them are doing a great job. However, there's an imbalance in energy in the schools, and our boys are literally being targeted.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why I want to share that mindset, not necessarily change your mind, but open it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of our last questions will probably be, how has your background impacted like your role as a mentor and like inspired you to, you know, like do things with Manhood Mindset?
Got you. So my background has had so many challenges, so many mistakes that I had no choice but to assist people, right? And I need to be very, very clear about this. I'm a person who has had so much support my entire life. Like, my life has been full of challenges, and as many challenges that I've had supporters, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I found out is that so many students, so many people don't have that support system. So it looks like, based off what my background was, yes, I saw a lot of things I wasn't supposed to see. I experienced a lot of things I wasn't supposed to experience, but after it happened, I had so much support and so many people there to help me understand what was going on, and it gave me so much energy to go out there and help so many different people. And I think that's what my background comes from. I know what it looks like to help other people because I received the help. I also know what it feels like to go through so many things where you think you have no power. So I understand that, and I understand how to be empathetic with people who feel helpless. A lot of people may not understand this, and I tell my students this: you got a professor that was kicked out of Georgia Southern, academic exclusion. You have a professor that was kicked out of his grad program. You have a professor that was kicked out of his doctorate program for grades. You understand? So I understand navigating that system and feeling like, hey man, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I supposed to be here? But look at it now. You're learning from someone who's flawed, but I'm going forward. I know a lot of people think that you have to be perfect, and I want to let people know, if they're listening, be careful with perfection, because as soon as you achieve it, you stop growing.
Exactly.
And it's always about progression. Your mistakes are nothing but really good research if you know how to make them, but make them with class and make them with dignity and make them with pride, but make them in a way that you can learn from them. Don't be scared of your mistakes, right? So some of the things that I've done, most of my mistakes made my program.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so thank you again, Dr. Pugh, for joining us. If the viewers at home have any further questions or interest about the Manhood Mindset program, you can visit Dr. Pugh's website at manhoodmindset.com. You can also contact him at his email, which is mchristopherpugh@gmail.com. I'm Allie Cox, and this has been Georgia Southern Underground. We will see you next time.